Well, folks, it is Sunday, April 12th, and we actually have some fairly large stories today for Nintendo Switch 2. It's actually a little non-typical. Usually over the weekend, you get maybe 1 to 3 actual stories we're talking about, and we've got more than that today. For starters, yeah, Nintendo launched a new bundle. You can get it retail literally right now. I'm going to show that off in a moment. Nintendo did upgrade the art and a smidge of the dollar amounts on their eShop gift cards. That's right, an eShop gift card story. We definitely don't have that very often. Hey, how about the fact that Borderlands 4 is in the wild? I kid you not. Borderlands 4 for Nintendo Switch 2 is literally out in the wild. Maybe this is the most shocking story of the weekend to me after just my blatant assumption this game is canceled. Now it just appears publicly out of nowhere. Man, kind of crazy. We're not done though, because how about some stuff with Nintendo games? It looks like Splatoon Raiders and Fire Emblem's Fortune's Weave are pretty close to coming out, which, look, if you listen to Nate to Hate's rumors, really shouldn't be too surprising. But now we have some evidence these games are actually coming out and coming out fairly soon. And then beyond all of that, hey, how about a little bit more news on Mouse PI? We talked about it in the latest trailer in our last video, or I guess a couple videos ago now. And now we have a little bit of an update because now we have some performance metrics officially released by them, and we can see how the Switch 2 version compares to the PlayStation, the Xbox, the Steam Deck, etc. And we have an update. It's been, a couple weeks on the Mario Galaxy movie and, well, its overall box office numbers. So, look, guys, again, I did not expect this much news for a Sunday, but here we are. And before we dive in, I just want to remind you, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2. You can enter through the link down in the pinned comment or the description. And if you're enjoying this video, I would appreciate if you guys would drop a like and heck, maybe hype the video if you feel so inclined. Let's go ahead and dive into this first one. And this is about the Switch 2 bundle that officially announced, well, not announced, but launched today. Start your Nintendo Switch 2 adventure with star-hopping fun in 2 classic games. Buy them along with Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2. This is obviously the combo, digital or physical, and you have till May 9th, and you could save $20. Now, I wanted to show this in action, and thankfully Amazon made it super easy for me to show this. So as we head on over to Amazon here, you'll see, here it is, console plus Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. This is a physical version. You can see that for $499.99. You can see the $20 knocked off, or you can see it the same with a digital code where you see the exact same thing. They also have a expansion pack combo as well if you want to throw that in. That doesn't really save you any money since you can get that individual expansion pack on your own without. That doesn't really save any money. These are the ones that we're worried about here are obviously this. So as we click on console plus Mario Kart World, you can see they are obviously sold out of the actual console. So these are just going to be the price of the game plus the console. But here we go with the Switch 2 stuff. I really think this is a great deal. I hope this gets marketed and advertised more. I think this is going to sell very, very well. I don't know if it'll be like Pocopia level system sales, but it's certainly not going to hurt. Next up, Nintendo decided to do something I didn't expect them to do, and that was update their eShop gift cards, both the art on the cards and even the amount of a singular card. I know this amount like the back of my head, but Donkey Kong has always kind of been one of the faces of the $99 eShop gift card. That is not the only face. I think there was a Twilight Princess Link one as well, and I think a Bowser one, but the point is, Donkey Kong has been really well known to be on the $99 eShop gift card for a long time. Well, that eShop gift card has been updated, and now it is a clean $100. See over at Deku Deals here, you can see the new art design as well, matching with DK's current design, and the $100. But that's not the only thing that get updated. So while that is the only one to have a new amount, we have these other ones posted up by Nintendo Deal, who works at Deku Deals, and you can see all of the art is seemingly refreshed. You got Toad at the $5, Luigi at the $10, Mario at the $20, Peach with the $35, Yoshi at $45, Link now from Breath of the Wild at $50. You can see Isabelle there representing $70, and then Bowser being your $99 eShop gift card. character, and then obviously Donkey Kong at 100. So there you go. They decided to differentiate things a bit and update the art. Kind of a fun story, but you know, nothing's more fun than watching a Nintendo Switch 2 game get out in the wild. Now, a Nintendo Switch 2 game getting out in the wild before release is one thing. A Nintendo Switch 2 game getting out of the wild when its release has been indefinitely delayed with no news, now that is something that's crazy. So Borderlands 4 was a game that released on all platforms except Switch 2 last year. It was supposed to launch on Switch 2 the same day as everyone else, but they delayed it. They said that, hey, there was going to be, we need more time to get it done, but it was still supposed to release last year, as promised by Randy Pritchford, before it was announced that it has been indefinitely delayed so they can work on fixing up Borderlands 4 on the current platforms it's on. Now, that was last year, and we have heard nothing since and had no indication that development had even restarted up for the Switch 2 version. Well, how close was the Switch 2 version to coming out? So close that physical copies exist. Now, it is a game key card, but somebody has it. So Borderlands 4 Switch 2 physical version, was available. Sorry, I had to take the post down earlier, the original one, because they had the code uncensored. Here are the photos of the cover and a look at the DLC eShop page with the release date of October 3rd, 2025. So again, proof this was planned to come out last year. The keycard is recognized as legit, but it doesn't have any data to download. Unfortunately, the code was redeemed by somebody else, so we can't test if redeeming it would do something different. So yeah, he originally posted with the code. The code was redeemed. So apparently you could redeem the code for the Gilded Glory pack on the eShop, even though the game isn't available. Kind of crazy. But as you go forward here, you can see him here with it inserted, asking to register it, which again, it doesn't work. There's no data to download. Here's the outside box art as well. I don't know if he paid full price to get his hands on this at a store. He doesn't really detail a whole lot about this because there isn't really anything to say. I mean, we have our close-up of the cartridge. Everything seems pretty par for the course. Everything seems to check out with what we know about Switch 2 games and the key cards. So yeah, this all looks fairly legit. Could be an elaborate hoax, but it seems unlikely. Now, here's the thing. Borderlands 4 leaking out there, I think, is wild because obviously it was planned to come out in October of last year and never did. And now we're sitting here wondering, one, how did this copy somehow get out in the wild, despite the fact you can't even play it, right? But also, what? Why is this surfacing now? I can see this maybe surfacing last year. If they happened to ship out some key cards to some retailers before delaying it, then I can see how last year it gets out. Why is this getting out now? That's the thing that I find very weird. And obviously, will this key card work if and when the game ever does come to Switch 2? Again, I've been of mind that Borderlands 4 has been completely canned, but this is just very weird. We've seen a lot of game leaks for the Switch over the years because it got hacked on day one. This is the first time, though, we're seeing a keycard leak for a game that has no release date and was delayed. This would be like an Elden Ring keycard leaking out there from last year, except we know Elden Ring is still coming because not only do we have a new listing, they had a new demo at the Game Developers Conference. There's been nothing new with Borderlands 4 since PAX West of last year. So yeah, I'm very confused. But this next story is far less confusing and arguably more exciting because, well, these should be games that people consider to be good games, so we hope. We're talking about Splatoon Raiders and Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. As we head on over to Universal Nintendo, you see Splatoon Raiders and Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave received age ratings in Europe. So the Pan-European Game Information Board, which is PEGI, already has records for the age ratings of the Splatoon Raiders and Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, according to the pages on Nintendo's own European website and the listings for the respective games. The two titles did not have ratings or had provisional ratings until the beginning of April, which could be a strong indication the games are close to their release, with news to be revealed soon by Nintendo. Below you can see the comparisons of the previous and current. So obviously that is current, and this is previous. No rating there down in the corner. You can see here the full PEGI 12, and here you can see a provisional rating of Peggy 12. So the final rating has been issued. That's one of the big things to note. These are final ratings. These can't be done until games are in their final stages. This definitely indicates things like Splatoon Raiders, obviously being a game coming out this year, as Nate the Hate has stated, it would be a summer game. It's one of those things that still doesn't have a year attached to it. Now, we have seen games get ratings and then not come out for a couple of years. This is how we know, like, Nintendo has sat on games they didn't need to sit on at times. But yeah, guys, this is pretty standard fare and really exciting. And the interesting thing, if you want to keep up to date on this, is following Nintendo Deal and Deku Deals. So over here, he says, this is to the exact same post here. Nintendo Deal says, from DekuDeals.com, we can see when Nintendo changes a rating from provisional to non-provisional. And he says, I can confirm Splatoon Raiders and Fire Emblem Fortunes Weave both transitioned what were originally provisional to full ratings. So yeah, both games seem to be on slate, ready to go and come out this year. Again, Nate the Hate said this summer. We'll have to wait and see. But we know Fire Emblem is for sure coming out this year, according to Nintendo themselves, against Splatoon Raiders without a technical set date. But these are two really exciting games that could sell decently well, if not great, on Switch 2. So I'm just really looking forward to their release. One thing I'm actually looking forward to right now more than their actual release is just some information. We haven't seen information on Splatoon Raiders since it was revealed. Neither with Fortune's Weave. It's actually kind of wild. We haven't seen information on that. We haven't seen information on Dustbloods. A lot of games like that were announced last year, we just haven't seen since. So it would make sense if we're planning to see these hopefully soon. I don't know. We keep talking about directs, even though I don't expect one until June. It's like, you got to see these games at some point. Now, one game that comes out this week that a lot of people are hyped for is an indie game called Mouse PI for Hire. It looks really good. We just talked about it a couple videos ago. New trailers. Well, now we have some performance metrics that they publicly released. And it's quite interesting when we look at these console specifications. So you see on the Xbox Series S, 1260p in performance mode at 120 FPS and 1600p at 60 FPS in quality mode for 13 gigs. So the file sizes are, you can kind of see, they're not going to go over the file sizes on everything. It is notable that the Switch 2 file size is larger than the Xbox One. That one, I'm curious as to why. It actually has like tied with PS5 for the largest file size. I don't know why that is, but whatever. Xbox Series X is at 1600p at 120 FPS and 4K at 60 FPS for quality mode. For performance mode on PS5, you're seeing 1600p at 120 or 4K at 60. Again, the exact same as Xbox, but with 2 gigs more data. Again, I don't really understand that. Switch 2 in handheld mode has 900p at 60 FPS in performance mode, which is almost native screen resolution. And then quality mode actually goes above native screen resolution. So 1260p at 30 FPS. And you might be going, how the hell are they doing that? Well, it's called downsampling. So basically they run it at a higher resolution and then downsample it to 1080. This actually creates a much crisper and better looking 1080p image. So you should be able to notice a much crisper image with that over the 900p. Again, this is a very common thing that happens in a lot of fields. In video games, we don't see the downsampling on consoles as much, but it is definitely a thing that can happen. Switch 2 in dot mode shows a full 1080p at 60 FPS in performance mode, and then 1440p at 40 FPS, which I find interesting that they're doing 40 in dot mode. Dot mode does not support variable refresh rates, so curious if there's any tearing or some weird things, weird behaviors at 40 FPS. Usually to run at that, you're going to need variable refresh rate support to avoid some of that, but we know it doesn't have that in dot mode, so kind of curious on that quality mode. Hopefully Digital Foundry or some other tech experts decide to take a look at this, because I'm really curious on that data point. Now, we all know that there are some other handhelds that exist out there, PC handhelds, and they got 2 of them on this chart. Xbox Ally has a setting for 720p and 60 FPS, and then a setting for 900p and 120 FPS, which I assume is performance mode and quality mode. And Steam Deck doesn't have performance mode or quality mode. It just has a single profile to run the game, and it runs at 800p, which is the native resolution of the Steam Deck. So that's pretty much as high as you're going to go unless you want to downsample, and then 40 FPS. And it's 11 gigabytes in size, which, again, if it's not going to go above 800p, they could have used smaller assets and all that kind of stuff. It's interesting that 4K on Xbox Series X is somehow a smaller file size than 1440p on Switch 2. But again, I have some weird questions about this stuff, but yeah, whatever. As long as the game is good, it's really all that matters. But I just wanted to throw out there these metrics, as people like to do all these cross comparisons. Obviously, right now we just got to worry the game is good, and then we can worry about performance. But the performance metrics look pretty solid. Today we're going to talk about is the Mario movie, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. A little update here from Variety. So Super Mario Galaxy movie is Hollywood's highest grossing release of 2026 at $629 million, and Project Hail Mary surpasses $500 million. Project Hail Mary is the highest rated movie of the year. Anyways, the Super Mario Galaxy movie is officially the year's highest grossing film with $629 million at the global box office. While the film's towering ticket sales will continue to climb, likely towards the 1 billion mark in the coming weeks, it'll contend with major upcoming tentpoles like Spider-Man Brand New Day, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, Toy Story 5, and the Avengers Doomsday to retain the crown through the rest of the year, which I don't suspect it's going to hold on to the highest grossing crown this year. Maybe for animated film, but I think like Avengers Doomsday, maybe even Toy Story 5 as an animated film might pop up ahead of it. We'll see. Spider-Man Brand New Day, I think, will as well. So again, I kind of think Mario movie is going to slot in below almost every movie they mention. We'll see with the Odyssey. I don't know how popular that one's going to be yet. Anyways, these are all hypotheticals because we haven't gotten to these movies releasing yet. Obviously, it tries to compare it to the original Mario Bros. Movie. Mario dominated the international box office in its second weekend of release, collecting $83.5 million from 81 territories so far. One of those territories is not Japan. Hasn't released in Japan yet. So far, the family-friendly film has earned $320 million overseas and $308 million in North America. Top earning markets include Mexico with $47.8 million, the United Kingdom and Ireland with $37.4 million, and Germany with $29 million, and France with $23.9 million as well. While Project Hail Mary is no longer the biggest movie of the year, Ryan Gosling-led space epic has surpassed a notable box office milestone with ticket sales above $500 million. It has gotten $254 million overseas and $256.5 million domestically. So we're going to leave it at that because obviously we're not going to talk a ton about Project Hail Mary. I haven't seen it yet. I do want to see it. I'm debating if I'm going to see it at the theater or just wait till it's on a streaming service. Either way, I'm really excited that Nintendo and Universal seem to be doing well here because this just means we're going to get more Nintendo movies moving forward. Next up, obviously, being the Zelda movie that is supposed to come out, barring any more delays, on May 7th of next year. And that's a live action adaptation. So Nintendo, I don't suspect is going to do a lot of live action movies outside of Zelda. But I'm very curious on the live action side if Nintendo can nail it. Because in a live action setting, I think story becomes more important. Obviously, the way it's shot and being a high fantasy. Now we know they're in New Zealand, so that's already a good news for at least being on location and the scenery and everything. But the storytelling is going to play a much bigger role here, and that's what a lot of us are curious about when it comes to a Legend of Zelda movie is what are they going to do? They're probably going to make this like a unique thing for the movies that's different from the games, but then like still has game ties somehow. So we'll see what happens, folks. This is the first time that The Legend of Zelda will be hitting the silver screen. Obviously, there was a cartoon series on TV at one point. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But really good news for the Mario movie. And you know what, guys? That's going to do it. I will catch a lot of you guys tonight on a live stream. Otherwise, enjoy the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.